What if I told you that the life you're living right now may not truly be yours? Not because you consciously chose it, but because of an invisible program that has been operating inside your mind since childhood. A silent script written by parents, teachers, society, and culture, shaping your beliefs about who you should be. This program whispers that your worth is something fragile, something that must be earned through performance, achievements, and endless approval. It convinces you that love is conditional, that acceptance is a prize, and that freedom will only come when others finally validate you. Every decision you make becomes entangled in one persistent fear. What will they think of me? So you hold your tongue, shrink your dreams, and carefully sand down the edges of your uniqueness just to fit into molds designed by others. But what if this were all an illusion? What if the real path to fulfillment wasn't about earning more approval, but about freeing yourself from the need for it altogether? Imagine waking tomorrow and discovering that the weight of other people's judgment has vanished, reduced to distant noise, incapable of steering your steps. What emerges then is not emptiness, but a voice you barely recognize, your own. Authenticity stops being an abstract ideal and becomes your lived reality. Success transforms from a trophy displayed for the world to admire into a quiet certainty of walking in alignment with your essence. This isn't indifference, this isn't apathy, this is liberation, and it may be the only revolution that truly matters, the one that begins within. Today we step into a radical shift of perspective, one that may feel uncomfortable at first, but holds the power to transform the way you move through life. We'll explore what it really means to not care, not in the sense of abandoning responsibilities or disconnecting from people, but in learning to stop wasting your energy on things that hold no true weight. It's about recognizing where your attention is hijacked by noise, by meaningless standards, by expectations that do not belong to you, and when you stop feeding them, something remarkable happens. Life becomes lighter, freer, more authentic. If this resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to Free Mind and turn on notifications, because this journey is just beginning. Thank you for being here, for daring to look inward, to ask deeper questions and to challenge the patterns that have silently ruled your life. Together we'll walk the path of valuing inner peace above outside approval, of trusting your own voice over the chaos of the crowd, and of flowing with life instead of resisting it. We live under the tyranny of control, or at least the illusion of it. From an early age, we are taught that if we just try harder, worry longer, and plan perfectly, we can dictate outcomes. But life was never designed to bend entirely to our will. It is unpredictable, messy, and beautifully wild. The harder we cling to control, the tighter anxiety grips us. Control becomes a mirage. The closer we run toward it, the further it drifts away. Mastery, therefore, is not about controlling every twist of fate. It is about wisdom, knowing the difference between what you can influence and what you cannot. Real power lies not in endless grasping, but in releasing what was never yours to hold. Since childhood, we have been conditioned to measure our worth through the eyes of others. A smile for good behavior, a grade for good performance, a pat on the back when we fit the mold. Slowly, those external voices take root inside us until they become louder than our own. Without noticing, we begin to live a life that is not truly ours, shaped by rules we never consciously chose. And so we trade our authenticity for the heavy burden of meeting expectations. Expectations that do not even belong to us. This exchange leaves us weary, disconnected, and far from the truth of who we are. The constant pursuit of approval is like building a prison for your soul. Each time you silence your truth to avoid rejection, another bar rises around you. Each time you hide a dream because you fear judgment, another lock clicks shut. The tragedy is that even when approval finally arrives, it feels hollow. Because deep down you know it was never your true self that was seen, only the mask you wore. And masks may win applause, but they will never bring peace. Detachment is often misunderstood. It is not coldness, it is not apathy, it is a conscious reorientation of energy. Healthy detachment means withdrawing your emotional investment from what you cannot control. The past, which is gone, the future, which is uncertain, the shifting opinions of others. Instead, you reinvest that energy into what truly matters. Your actions, your values, your inner stability. Detachment is not the absence of love, it is the presence of clarity. When you stop performing for the approval of others, something powerful awakens. You become authentic, unapologetically, undeniably yourself, and authenticity is magnetic. It pulls toward you the people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your true frequency. No scripts, no masks, just the quiet confidence of being who you are with no performance required. This authenticity doesn't repel, it attracts what was meant for you all along. There is profound relief in laying down the burden of constant justification. You discover that you do not owe explanations to anyone as long as your choices align with your inner compass. You realize that peace is not about convincing others of your worth, but about living in integrity with your own truth. This freedom, to walk through life without performing, defending, or proving, is priceless. It is the peace of simply being. At its essence, life is not a battlefield to conquer, but a river to flow with. The moment we stop fighting against the current, against others' opinions, against our urge to micromanage every outcome, we begin to move with grace. Life starts to align, not by some mysterious magic, but because we finally stop obstructing the flow with our resistance. We remove the dams we built, and the river carries us forward naturally, effortlessly. Surrender is one of the most misunderstood strengths. It is not weakness. It is not giving up. True surrender is wisdom. It is doing what you can with clarity and courage, and then releasing what is not yours to control. It is the strength to trust that the universe, or life itself, will handle the rest. It is choosing to dance in the rain instead of exhausting yourself trying to control the storm. Worry is a strange ritual, almost like praying for the things you don't want. It drains your energy while producing nothing. But when you stop caring excessively about what is beyond your reach, the mental noise softens. The constant chatter of what ifs and what will they think begins to fade. In that silence, something precious emerges: clarity, creativity, intuition. The stillness of mind becomes the fertile ground for wisdom. One of the greatest turning points in life is developing the courage to disappoint others. The truth is, you cannot be everything to everyone, and you shouldn't try. Learning to say no becomes not an act of selfishness, but of self-respect. It is a way of drawing sacred boundaries. Sometimes the most powerful form of love is the refusal to betray yourself for the comfort of others. Success begins to shift its meaning when you break free from approval. It stops being an external scoreboard of likes, titles, or salaries and transforms into something far more personal. True success is the quiet peace you feel upon waking, the lightness in your chest when you know you are living in harmony with your essence. It is the freedom to walk your path not for applause, but for the deep knowing that you are aligned with your truth. The greatest revolution you will ever live is not external. It won't be found in politics, in wealth, or in recognition. It happens silently inside you. It is the moment you break the invisible chains of approval and rediscover the freedom of being yourself. No applause, no stage, no spotlight is necessary, because the liberation that matters most is not the one others see, but the one you feel when you wake up and know, I am living my life, not someone else's script. To live authentically is also to embrace imperfection. For too long, we have been taught to polish, to filter, to present a flawless image. But perfection is sterile. It leaves no room for humanity. Genuine connection arises from flaws, vulnerability, and rawness. When you stop chasing the illusion of perfection, you begin to see beauty in the cracks, in the mistakes, in the unpolished moments that make life alive. True freedom does not come from adding more wealth, more recognition, more validation. It often comes from less pretending, less performing, less explaining. Simplicity is the soil where authenticity grows. When you strip away the unnecessary layers, what remains is enough, your essence. And that essence is powerful, luminous, untouchable by the noise of the world. At the end of this journey, the path does not lead outward but inward. back to the self you abandoned to please others, back to the voice you silenced for fear of rejection, back to the dreams you buried under the weight of expectation. Returning to yourself is not selfishness, it is sacred. Because when you honor your truth, you don't just free yourself, you give others silent permission to do the same. If this message resonated with you, let it be more than just words. Let it be a seed planted within you, a reminder that your worth was never meant to be borrowed from others, but lived from within. If you're ready to keep walking this path of freedom, awareness, and authenticity, join us here at Free Mind. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and be part of this journey of liberation. Because the only revolution that truly